Hello, we're here in the concert hall at the RDS in Dublin, where one of the biggest events on the Irish literary calendar is about to get underway.
We've been reading the books all year and we've been talking about them for the last few months, but tonight we're going to announce the award winners and we'll be paying special tribute to some of our best-loved authors. That's the Bord Gáis Energy Irish Book Awards here on RTE1.
I think it's very, very well organised. It's a good night. It's an enjoyable night, and I think everybody enjoys it, whether they win or whether they lose.
But it's a very vibrant, tightly knit community, and it's always a lovely night. And of course, I think writers is glamorous. It's always a very glamorous night as well, which is we need a bit of glamour in our lives these days.
Well, I think there's a bit of buzz about it, and I think also when you're in with a chance of winning a prize, you know, you like to go along there and join in the fun, you know.
Books is a natural one for us because our customers love books. They love books and reading. They love to share their love of reading.
I'm getting a little bit cynical about other large book prizes like the Booker and to some extent even the Costa, and I think actually these book awards are, I'm not sure if it's the method that the books are chosen by or what they're audience driven, which is nice.
I'm just delighted to be nominated. It's always lovely to get out. It's a very solitary life. You spend a lot of time on your own, so it's very nice to get dressed up and come out and to see all your colleagues and your friends. So it's good.
So it's very nice to put faces to names of people you've read, and so that's lovely. That's lovely.
I'm here because I'm nominated. Somebody nominated me, and this is my first ever time to be nominated for anything, including death sentences.
Well, I've always loved bookish people, and I've never been able to get at them, and here they are, all in one room. It's fantastic.
I'm really happy to be among all the writers in this room. It's nice to catch up with them. It's nice to kind of get the recognition and have the pat on your back.
You're all very welcome to one of the biggest nights in the Irish literary calendar. It's the Bord Gáis Energy Irish Book Awards 2012 here in the concert hall of the RDS in Dublin. And we have a really great night in store.
We certainly do, Claire. Tonight we celebrate our love of good writing by acknowledging the writers from home and abroad who have brightened up our year and kept alive our very proud tradition of great literature. And I think you'll see that the standard is higher than ever.
And John, the first award has a very special place in your heart because it is, of course, the John Murray Show Listener's Choice Award. And anyone who has heard the show can tell you that for both John and your listeners, reviewing these books is clearly a labour of love.
Not a bad day job, nonetheless. Anyway, to present this award, can you please welcome the producer of the John Murray Show, Margaret Curley.
It really has been a very exciting year in this category. Let's take a look at the nominated authors who appeared on the John Murray Radio Show over the recent weeks.
All in My Head, the autobiography, Lar Corbett, Trans World Ireland. Bring Up the Bodies, Hilary Mantel, Fourth Estate, Broken Harbour, Tana French, Hachette Books Ireland. Just Mary, Mary O'Rourke, Gilland Macmillan. Run Fat Bitch Run, Ruth Field, Sphere. The Paris Wife, Paula McLean, Virago.
And the winner of the RTE Radio 1's John Murray Show Listener's Choice Award is Mary O'Rourke.
Don't know what to say, but anyway, I am really, that's a big exception for me, but I'm very, very pleased to be here, and I can hardly believe I actually had my mind trained, John, that I wasn't going to get it. You know the way you can make your mind work like that. But I also feel, as I stood here tonight, the first thing I have to say is, and this is a very familiar tune by me, I must thank my voters. But how often have I said that? One last thing, the last time I stood here, it was a Fianna Fáil Ardèche. And do you know, this is much more enjoyable.
Well, we want to hear a lot more about Mary's book, so John is going to take you, Mary, away for a little chat. Congratulations to Mary O'Rourke, winner of the 2012 John Murray Listener's Choice Award.
Mary, congratulations.
Well, thanks, John. What a surprise. It really, really was. I had myself convinced in my head it wasn't going to be me, and then it was me.
And what came into your mind the minute it was announced that it was you?
Oh, utter delight, utter delight. I am transfixed with delight. I really am. It's an old-fashioned word, but that's what I am.
And you said in your acceptance speech that you've travelled the highways and byways.
I have. I've done 44 towns.
And you also mentioned the fact that the last time you were here was at a Fianna Fáil Ardèche. You are now an award-winning author. You've gone from being a government minister to being an award-winning...
a humble backbencher.
That transition as well, but yes, this is the world of authors and literature.
Oh, it's far nicer word. Oh, John. But it's not all that civilised. Plenty of backstabbing too, and plenty of risque jokes, and plenty of, you know, this kind of thing going on. There isn't that much difference, but there are so many new people I met, so many interesting people, so many bookshops. Oh, John, the bookshops of Ireland are wonderful. And children, to see them sitting on little stools with their book in front of them. Oh, my heart sings when I see that. It really does.
So it seems you have the bug. The memoir is written. Does that mean a second book is on?
I'm thinking about another book, not until January or February. I have to recover.
Well, congratulations once again, the winner of the John Murray Show Listener's Choice Award, a worthy winner. And as you say, the voters were on your side.
Yeah, well, for this campaign they were, yes, indeed.
Next, the Lifestyle Sports Book of the Year, an award which has previously gone to such sporting legends as Paul McGrath, Ronan O'Gara and, of course, last year, the great John Giles. Now, here to present this award, will you please welcome the Marketing Director of Lifestyle Sports, Vivienne Bushell, and award-winning sports journalist and author, Paul Kimmage.
I have a reputation of being a bit contrary at times. But I've been given strict instructions from my wife to behave myself. That's impossible for me. I just want to say one thing. There's a lot of booksellers in this room, and I've been trawling your shops for the last week, and you haven't moved the Lance Armstrong book to fiction yet. Anyone who followed Katie Taylor to London for the Olympics this summer will be familiar with the Docklands light rail. I was on it one night recently and noticed a young woman sitting opposite, totally absorbed by a book. It was making her smile and chuckle, and she was clearly relishing every word. I looked at her and thought, I'll have whatever she's having. I couldn't make out what the book was. Thankfully, her stop arrived just before mine, and I caught a glimpse of the cover. 50 Shades of Grey. Let's take a look at this year's nominations.
Cliffs of Insanity, A Winter on Ireland's Big Waves, Keith Duggan, Transworld Ireland. Memory Man, Jimmy McGee, Gillan Macmillan. My Journey, Jim Steins, Penguin Ireland. The Great and the Good, John Giles, Hachette Books Ireland. The Bull, John Hayes, Simon & Schuster. My Olympic Dream, Katie Taylor, Simon & Schuster.
The winner of the Lifestyle Sports Book of the Year is Katie Taylor.
Well, this is an award I never thought I'd win, but it's been an absolutely amazing year for me, and it's been great to have the opportunity to put that, what happened in London into words. And I'd just like to thank Simon and Schuster for all the work that they've done on the book over the last few weeks. They've been a pleasure to work with, and I'd like to thank Johnny Waterson as well, who was the ghostwriter of the book. I think he had the hardest task of all, really getting blood out of a stone, getting words out of me. But the book award, I mean, I don't know, like, this is just incredible. I'm used to getting sports awards, but this is definitely a first for me, and hopefully in 4 years' time I can get this award again, my Olympic dream part 2. So, thanks very much.
Katie Taylor, congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Sports Book of the Year, Lifestyle Sports Book of the Year. You're on a bit of a roll.
Yeah, I definitely didn't expect this. It's been brilliant.
2012 has been a phenomenal year for you.
Yeah, it's been a supernatural year, really. Everyone knows that, the Olympics were always my dream, and to come back with a gold medal, and just all the awards that come with that as well. It's been an amazing few months and such an exciting few weeks for me, really.
And that big decision you made to stay amateur, did you think long and hard about that?
Yeah, it was. I did have a long think about it, but my heart was always in amateur boxing, I think, and I absolutely love boxing for my country and bringing home medals for my country. And what I experienced over in London in the Olympic Games was, no money could compare to that, really. And I'd love to have another shot at the Olympics, and hopefully, bring home another gold medal in 4 years' time.
Are you thinking about that already, Brazil?
I am, actually. Yeah, I'd love to imagine being a two-time Olympic champion. That would be unbelievable. So, and I did get offered really nice contracts from some promoters, but
in England or in the States,
and the States and Germany as well. But nothing can compare to to boxing for your country, really, and bringing home those medals. And it's an absolute privilege for me to be staying amateur and hopefully continue to bring home medals for my country.
Well, congratulations. I think I speak for everyone in wishing you well towards achieving your goals in the future. You've already given us so much pleasure, and a worthy winner of the Lifestyle Sports Book of the Year award, Katie.
Thanks, John.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The shortlist for our next award, the Argosy Non-Fiction Book of the Year, reads like a who's who of Irish life. And this year, I'm very pleased to say, Irish women have a powerful presence on the list of nominees. To present this award, will you please welcome on stage the Managing Director of Argosy, Fergal Stanley, and presenter of RTE Radio 1's Arena, Sean Rocks.
And as Claire has just said, what a cast of colourful characters are on this list of nominees. In fact, you couldn't make it up. A past president, a serving senator, a former cabinet minister, a country girl who became a literary giant, an economist who can entertain, and in the case of one book with 3 writers, an investigative troika that we actually don't mind having in the country. Let us take a look then at the shortlist for the Argosy Non-Fiction Book of the Year.
A Kick Against the Pricks, the autobiography, David Norris, Transworld Ireland. The Good Room, David McWilliams, Penguin Ireland. Country Girl, Edna O'Brien, Faber and Faber. Everybody Matters, Mary Robinson, Hodder and Staunton. Just Mary, Mary O'Rourke, Gilland Macmillan. Atlas of the Great Irish Famine, edited by John Crowley, William J. Smith and Mike Murphy. Cork University Press.
And the winner of the Argosy Non-Fiction Book of the Year is the country girl who became a literary giant, Edna O'Brien.
Well, this is a great evening. The nerves are flying. And I've been sitting with my publisher, Lee Braxton from Faber, and he was going to take a bet that I might win, and then he changed his mind. What about that? And so did Simon Hess. But it is for me a great, it even means more than I could probably tell you. It's a huge thing, It's an enduring thing, and I'm very thankful. And because we're at home tonight, as such, I want to tell you a few, 4 lines in Irish, and then I'll shut up. And it is the first poem we had at school. It was Brian Merriman's Midnight Court, but it was in Irish. And I had no idea that this was a very bawdy work, which indeed it is. It's bawdy, well, it is. For those who don't know it, they have pleasure in reading it. But I'd like to say it in Irish, because it was the first poem I ever learned. Báganomig siú le ciúis na haun, an bon siacúr is an drúg go traum. In acad a gail sé gain an tlév, gan marig, gan moil, le soilse an lé. I was wont to walk by the side of the lake, báganomig siú le ciúis. An bon siacúr is an drúg go traum. The morning young and the dew heavy. In acad a gail sé, I gain an tlév, next to the woods and under the mountain. Gan morig, gan moil, le soilse an lé, without woe or care at the commencement of day. And that's what I feel at this moment, and I thank you all, everybody here and everybody I've forgotten to thank. It's wonderful for me, and bless you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Edna O'Brien, winner of the Argosy Non-Fiction Book of the Year Award for your memoir, Country Girl. How did it feel to actually be told that you were the winner?
Well, at the risk of a cliche, it felt wonderful. But because it's called Country Girl, and my first novel was Country Girls, the Country Girls, the contrast 52 years on, between 1960 and maybe 62 years on, I count, is very great, because The Country Girls, the novel, wouldn't actually have won an award in any category. And
why not? Well, it was banned and...
It was banned, and there was a bit of brouhaha.
And you've said about writing the memoir, there were times when you were writing it that you experienced great pain and anger.
There was anger, but I would think, if I were asked what is the underlying principal seed or motif, or whatever those words are, it's late at night, not that late, but of Country Girl, anger is in it, but it's not the pith of it. I think the pith of it is probably a kind of love. To be able, out of nowhere, out of desperation, out of many vicissitudes, big word, to somehow say something that you want to say to the world. That's a big privilege, and the doing of it is not so easy. But the doing of it is the essential and necessary labour of it, if that makes sense to you.
It does indeed. Well, it's wonderful to talk to you and to hear you talk so brilliantly about your trade. And congratulations again, Edna, on winning the Argosy Non-Fiction Book of the Year Award. And continued success.
Our passion for a good story is undiminished, as we can see from our next category. This is the Eason Popular Fiction Book of the Year. In fact, the standard this year was so high that for the first time the shortlist had to be expanded from 6 to 8 titles. To present this award, it's my pleasure to invite Eason's Head of Marketing and Retail Development, Keith Butler, and best-selling novelist Claudia Carroll.
There are a staggering 8 nominees who've written 8 astonishing books for the Eason Popular Fiction Book of the Year Award. So let's take a look.
Better Together, Sheila O'Flanagan. Headline. This Is How It Ends, Kathleen McMahon. Little Brown. A Week in Winter, Maeve Binchy. Orion. The Charm Bracelet, Melissa Hill. Hodder and Stoughton. This Child of Mine, Sinead Moriarty. Penguin Ireland. The Mystery of Mercy Close, Marion Keyes, Michael Joseph. 100 Names, Cecilia Ahern, Harper. The House on Willow Street, Kathy Kelly, Harper.
And the winner is Maeve Binchy.
I'm sure you won't be surprised to hear that we had already planned a tribute to Maeve for tonight, and this seems to be the perfect time to show it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a moment to remember a national treasure.
Everywhere I go, no matter what country I'm in, everybody asks about Maeve.
She got people reading, 40 million copies of her book sold worldwide. She just had this brilliant way of telling a story.
The genius of her, the way she captured people,
She just was fascinated by other people, ordinary people. The woman in the street, she famously, as you know, used to follow people to hear the ends of conversations.
She's legendary and she's such a huge inspiration.
I think I first met Maeve Binchy when I was 27, and she gave me a great bit of advice. She said, "Now, do you know the two things that a young journalist must always keep in the top drawer of the desk?" So I thought she was going to say an Oxford English Dictionary and a thesaurus, but she said, "No, a bottle of gin and a spare pair of knickers."
Dalkeith's a lovely town, and we decided we'd have a book festival. But the first person I rang was Maeve, and she just said to me, "Of course we should have a book festival." And she said, "Not only should we have a book festival, I'll help you." And she got on the phone to lots of other writers and said, "You have to come to Dalkeith." Even as late as the end of June, when the book festival was on, Maeve came out with great difficulty, I now know, from her house into Finnegan's and regaled and entertained. And then she spent hours signing books with fans.
For all female writers that I've met along the way, we all considered her the queen, and she was the trailblazer. She was the original trailblazer. And so I think she will always be remembered for that.
But she was a fantastically generous and joyful person, and we loved being around her. She meant so much to so many people. And Gordon, of course, her wonderful husband, prince of a man, just a person of amazing graciousness and charm, and they were clearly mad about each other, so you loved being in their company. She did a lot to help a lot of people, and she'll be sorely missed.
It gives me great pleasure now to ask her beloved Gordon to come up here and accept her award.
Maeve used to say that a public speech could never be too short or too flattering. And on her behalf, I'd like to thank all of you, editors, publishers, agents, and all of the people in the book trade in Ireland and everywhere else who have been so helpful, so supportive, and so kind. Thank you very much.
Well, it's been a great start to the night, and there's still a few surprises in store, plus Novel of the Year and a very special Lifetime Achievement Award. We'll be back with you in just a few minutes. you're very welcome back. Coming up, we have Ireland AM Crime Fiction Book of the Year. We'll have the Avonmore Best Cookbook, Eason Novel of the Year, and the Bob Hughes Lifetime Achievement Award.
Groucho Marx said he found television educational because, as he put it, whenever they turn on the set, I go into the other room and read a book. The gift of reading is one of the finest things we can give our children, and that's why the next categories are of particular importance. They are the Specsavers Children's Book of the Year, Junior and Senior. To present the awards, can you welcome Owen Blee of Specsavers Ireland and Niamh Sharkey, Laureate Nanogue.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to present this year's Specsavers Children's Book Award.
Rebecca's Rules, Anna Carey, The O'Brien Press, Skullduggery Pleasant, Kingdom of the Wicked, Derek Landy, HarperCollins Children's Books, Leave It to Eva, Judy Curtin, The O'Brien Press, Zombie, Darren Shan, Simon & Schuster, The Terrible Thing That Happened to Barnaby Brockett, John Boyne, Doubleday Children's, Artemis Fowl and The Last Guardian, Owen Colfer, Puffin.
And the Specsavers Children's Book of the Year Senior is dun, 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 Owen Colfer.
Good evening. Thanks to people. I'd like to thank my wife Jackie, who has been with me now since we were in Leaving Cert. Well, I was a teacher. She was in. No. I didn't write a speech for tonight because everybody knows that's the kiss of death. If you write a speech, you're going to lose. But I wrote a speech in 2001. When I was first nominated for an equivalent award. I know, don't give me, oh, that's the... And I'd just like to read you a paragraph of the speech that I wrote in 2001, and this is true, because I was sure I was going to win then. Okay, so here's the speech in 2001. I thought things could not get any better. The economy is booming. My house is worth a fortune. And with the cachet from this prize, I plan to sell my shares in Apple and buy some in Anglo-Irish. People say you shouldn't risk your money in bank shares, but I say to them, banks are a safe bet and will continue to be safe forever, as long, in fact, as Catholic Ireland has an ambassador to the Vatican. Thank you very much.
And that's Owen Colfer, another worthy winner. Now to an entirely new category this year. This is the Avonmore Cookbook of the Year. Irish chefs have become household names both here and abroad, and the success of their cookbooks has given the Irish publishing industry a massive boost. And this next award is a tribute to their work. Here to present the award, Ethna O'Hara, Product Group Manager of Avonmore and host of RTE Television's Saturday night show, Brendan O'Connor.
So before there was 50 Shades of Grey, Irish women used to like to curl up at night in bed with a good cookbook. As with 50 Shades of Grey, most of the stuff in the cookbooks was a bit adventurous, so they wouldn't really try it themselves, except maybe a bit of light beating with a whisk until you form mild frothy peaks. But it's only right that cookbooks should have their own category this year, if only to avoid the awkward situation that occurred last year, when Rachel Allen beat Seamus Heaney in the Non-Fiction Book of the Year award. As one of the judges said, Heaney's all very well for the Nobel crowd, but his soufflés always collapse. I think the shortlist tonight shows the breadth of that love affair, and also how we even have found the confidence to take on the cuisines of other countries as well. Other countries as well. So let's take a look at this year's nominations.
Cake, Rachel Allen, Collins. Domini at Home, How I Like to Cook, Dominic Kemp, Gillian Macmillan. Eat Like an Italian, Catherine Fulvio, Gillian Macmillan. The Irish Countrywomen's Association Cookbook by the Irish Countrywomen's Association, Gillian Macmillan. Kitchen Hero, Great Food for Less, Donal Skean, Collins. The MacNean Restaurant Cookbook, Nevin Maguire, Gillian Macmillan.
And the winner is Catherine Fulvio.
My husband and my family will be blown away by this. I'm delighted actually that you got the name right, Fulvio, because down in Wicklow I get letters written to me, Catherine Full-View. I don't know what that means anyway, but I just wanted to say to you that it's particularly difficult life writing a cookbook. You know, first you have to go to Italy and you have to eat all that food, and then you have to come home and you have to recreate all that food and eat all that food again. You know, it's really, really tough. I mean, the poor fellas that wrote the book on the famine, I wouldn't be able for that at all. And thank you all very much for voting for me tonight.
Catherine Fulvio, congratulations.
Thank you, John.
Winner of the inaugural Avonmore Cookbook of the Year category in the Bord Gáis Energy Book Awards. And it's your third cookbook.
It is, yes.
And how does it feel?
It feels absolutely fantastic. I've been very fortunate, John. I have 3 cookbooks and I was nominated for 3. It's like always been the bridesmaid and never been the bride. So I actually can't believe that I won. I'm thrilled.
And it's Eat Like an Italian.
Eat Like an Italian is the book. So it's
You're
Italian
recommending
food.
we do.
Yes, it's about the Italian diet. It's, you know, we're always told no carbs, no fats. Sure, look at the Italians. The women are the second slimmest in Europe. And all the carbs that they eat and the olive oil and everything. There has to be something in that Mediterranean diet. So I studied that, and yes, it's a UNESCO-approved diet. And I tailored my book around this Mediterranean diet, but with really tasty, edible food, using Irish ingredients.
And what's the next story you're going to tell? What's the next book?
The next story, I was thinking of kind of maybe moving into crime fiction.
Yeah,
you know, maybe being a kind of a chef who just happened to stumble upon some kind of body, and I don't mean a turkey dead or something in the kitchen, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, and I just solve the mystery and give a few recipes at the same time.
Great idea.
I like
yes, I'll buy it. I'll buy it. Bestseller, guaranteed. Catherine Fulvio, congratulations for winning the Avonmore Cookbook of the Year.
Well, our next category in tonight's awards is the Novel of the Year, sponsored by Eason. This year, for the first time, short story collections became eligible, opening the door to some fantastic new material. To present the award, please welcome Eason's Head of Marketing, David Field, and RTE presenter and soon-to-be published author herself, Rachel English.
And we're going to take a look now at the Eason Novel of the Year nominations.
Ancient Light, John Banville. Viking, Astray, Emma Donoghue, Picador. Dark Lies the Island, Kevin Barry, Jonathan Cape, Hawthorne and Child, Keith Ridgway, Granta. The Light of Amsterdam, David Park, Bloomsbury. Where Have You Been? Joseph O'Connor, Harville Secker.
And the winner is, taking its time to come out, John Banville.
Yes, hello. Too many people to thank. My publishers, to Mary Mount, my editor, and to all the people who've helped me throughout my long, tedious life. Thank you very much.
John Banville, congratulations. winner of the Eason Novel of the Year for Ancient Light.
Oh, I'm thrilled to have it, of course. I mean, it's lovely to win a prize in one's own country. Most prizes are awarded elsewhere. And this one it's wonderful to have it.
What are you busy with at the moment? What's on your hands?
Oh, I'm finishing a Benjamin Black book. I'm going to do my Philip Marlowe novel after that. And then, of course, I'll become John Banville again. You know, I'll whip my cape off and take my fangs out and become John Banville again. And Banville book.
And at the same time, then, we have Gabriel Byrne playing the role of Quirk in the BBC dramatisation
this is very exciting.
The Benjamin Black books.
Yeah, it's very exciting that Gabriel is playing Quirk. I think they're filming at the moment. I find that extraordinarily exciting. I mean, it's very strange to see human beings, you know, actors, suddenly, literally fleshing out one's characters, speaking lines that one wrote. You know, you sit in your room and you write these lines and they're dead on the page. And then human beings come along and give them life. This is a magical, magical process.
John Banville, once again, congratulations and good luck with your future projects.
Thank you very much.
And that brings us to the final and very special part of this evening, the Bob Hughes Lifetime Achievement Award, which now pays tribute to a great Irish writer and woman who has dedicated her entire life to the good of Irish literature. Tonight, she joins a very proud legacy of past recipients, John McGahern, William Trevor, Edna O'Brien, Maeve Binchy and Seamus Heaney. To tell us more about the recipient tonight, will you please welcome Joseph O'Connor.
For so many of us, Jennifer has been an inspiration. She has won major awards, of course, and critical acclaim. And she's also published books that were wonderfully achieved, but didn't always garner the recognition they deserved. And through all of it, she has kept going, doing what she does with such intelligence and skill, writing sentences of such grace and poise and truthfulness that you feel you are walking the weather of her characters' lives. And in producing this magnificent body of work that any writer would be immensely proud of, and in bringing such pleasures to so many readers, Jennifer has long been true to her calling and has become, for so many of us, a deeply admired person. We have truly only one Jennifer Johnston, and it's a great honour to celebrate her tonight. So before we ask her to join us, Jennifer, these are just some of the tributes people wanted to pay you when they heard you were receiving this award.
I remember being very young and the Captains and the Kings being in my parents' bookshelf and my mother saying, you have to read this book, and for years. And I suppose it was almost a kind of a youthful rebellion thing where I said no, because I was being told to read it, I wouldn't read it. But when I did, I went, oh, this is how it's done.
I've encountered several school children recently who had been reading How Many Miles to Babylon, and were a little bit giddy when I told them that I knew her. You know, so she's a little bit of a superstar out there.
She wrote a letter to my publisher in Doubleday praising my book, and when I got the email from Owen, I just couldn't believe my eyes.
Everyone talks about the fact that she came to writing late in life. Now, I know that's not true. She went there very early on, because when I was just in primary school, very young, she wrote a play for me to star in. I think I had to be a rather important rabbit in it. She started when her children were very much growing up, and she planned her life so that she would, clean the house very early in the morning and then start writing when the children had gone to school.
I think the first book I read by Jennifer would have been, like many, many other people, How Many Miles to Babylon. Well, I thought it was a wonderful book, and I was left wondering how a book about such a big subject could be so short.
She compresses what she's trying to say into a very telling, readable storyline.
She's such a kind of a pared-back, elegant style that really kind of makes the story so gripping. and is told in such a beautiful way.
A page in a Jennifer Johnson book does more than the words that are on the page. There are silences on the page, there are things that are unsaid on the page, and it's all really, really well crafted.
If she'd just written The Captains and the Kings, I think she'd have a place among the greats, but she went on to write a lifetime of novels. I've just finished Shadow Story, and it was as powerful as her first books.
Well-written work will endure, and Jennifer's work is extremely well written.
She's damn good. I'd say that, and I've no doubt about that. I have been one of her fans from very early on, and she's never disappointed me.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Bob Hughes Lifetime Achievement Award, one of the finest Irish writers of her time, Jennifer Johnston.
I really feel like doing the old Oscar thing, you know, crying, but I'm not going to cry. That was a total shock. And my brother, I was staying with my brother, and he never told me. So mean of him. Thank you, everybody. Colin, Roddy Doyle, Joe, my brother. I have to thank my brother. Yeah. I really am not a speech maker, but there is one thing that I would like to say, and I hope that everybody in this room will agree with me. It's not about books at all. It is justice for Savita.
Other award winners tonight included...
And lastly, I want to celebrate this occasion in the RDS Library, a place of great books and great reading. It's a great pleasure to accept the award in this historic place. Cormila Magwif.
I have to say thanks to my beautiful wife, Anne-Marie, to whom this award is, with all my love, dedicated. Thanks very much.
As an Irish author and illustrator, I feel that I am really writing for the world, and I'm proud of it.
And the booksellers, because without them, the book would still be sitting at home on my computer hoping somebody someday would read it. So thank you to the booksellers.
It's such a fantastic night of the talent of Irish writers, and just please keep writing books, everybody, for us to sell. I want to thank Hugh and Sandy, who unfortunately couldn't be with us tonight, but a special thank you to Sandy too. And most importantly of all, thank you to our fantastic customers, because without them we would not be here. And we have the most fantastic customers. They are wonderful.
Well, did you agree with the judge's verdict? Now is your chance to vote yourself. We want you to tell us your favourite Irish book of 2012. To do so, please go to the website irishbookawards.ie. You have until Monday, the 17th of December, when the overall winner will be announced.